Clerk, please publish the verdict.
Yes, Your Honor. In the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit in and for Miami-Dade County, Florida, State of Florida versus George Pino, case number F24-22896, Judge Marisa Fernandez. Verdict: we, the jury, find unanimously as follows. As to count one of information, manslaughter of Luciana Christina Fernandez, the defendant is not guilty.
Wow, right out of the gate, the jury delivers a not guilty verdict. No matter how long a trial lasts or how emotional the allegations become, the burden remains on the prosecution to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Here's a question for you. Do you think juries focus more on the evidence presented, or are they influenced by the emotional weight of a case like this?
So say we all, on this 22nd day of June 2026, signed by the foreperson CF. In the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit in and for Miami-Dade County, Florida.
And there it is again. The verdict is read and confirmed. This repetition may seem procedural, but in court, precision matters. Every word becomes part of the official record. Moments like this can feel anticlimactic on the surface, but for everyone involved, they're often the most life-changing seconds of the entire trial.
State of Florida versus George Pino, case number F24-22896, Judge Marisa Fernandez. Verdict: we, the jury, find as follows. As to count two of the information, vessel homicide of Luciana Christina Fernandez, the defendant is not guilty. So here we are, on this 22nd day of June 2026, signed by the foreperson CF.
Does counsel for either the state or the defense wish for the jury to be polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
Madam Clerk, please poll the jury with initials.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen of this jury, you heard me read the verdict. As I call your name, if this is your verdict, please answer yes. If this is not your verdict, please answer no. Mr. A.L., initials A.L. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now watch what happens next. The court isn't finished just because the verdict has been announced. The judge begins addressing the jurors directly. And this is a fascinating part of the process that many people never see in movies or TV. The spotlight shifts from the defendant to the citizens who carried the responsibility of deciding the case.
Initials C.F. C.S.
Yes.
L.M.
Yes.
J.M.
Yes.
and C.A.
Yes.
C.A.
No, I'm a L. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is one of the most important jury protections in the American legal system. Jurors can choose whether or not to discuss what happened behind closed doors. That privacy is designed to encourage honest debate during deliberations without fear of public criticism afterward. Would you want to talk about your experience if you had served on a high-profile jury?
I want to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges that are enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak with anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request may come from those who are simply curious or from those who might seek to find fault with you. it will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. I want to thank you all again for the sacrifices that you have made over the last 3 weeks, for your time and consideration in this case. What I have for each one of you is really just a token of our appreciation, which is a certificate of appreciation, and a small symbol of the great appreciation all of us have for you and for your participation in our system of justice. What I'm going to ask you to do is, as I discharge you, you will go with Renee.
The judge now confirms that the defendant has been found not guilty on both counts and checks for any remaining legal issues before formally ending the case. It's a procedural step, but an essential one. Courtrooms run on process, and every box has to be checked before a case can truly be closed.
Renee will take you out, and he will provide you with your juror certificate. All right? I'm going to ask everyone, please, in the courtroom to please remain in the courtroom for a few moments and allow the juries to exit. Thank you.
All right.
And just like that, the trial moves into recess and the courtroom begins to empty. What started with allegations, evidence, testimony, and weeks of deliberation ends with a few quiet words from the bench. Whether viewers agree with the outcome or not, this is the justice system functioning as designed. A jury hears the evidence, reaches a verdict, and the court enters its final chapter.
Everyone, please remain in the courtroom to be seated. Thank you. For purposes of the record, there are no errors or omissions in the verdict form. The filling out of the verdict form is legally sufficient. Mr. Pino, the jury has found you not guilty as to both counts of the information in this case. Are there any other matters involving Mr. Pino?
Not for the state.
For this court to address?
Not for the state.
Anything else? All right, there are no holds in Mr. Pino, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if we would give the jury a few moments, please, to exiting the courtroom and the courthouse. And I want to thank everyone again for your respect for this court. We'll take a moment now, and I have no further matters for me to address, and at this time, we are in recess. Thank you.